Have you ever listened to a native English speaker and wondered how they make conversations sound so easy? Even when they pause to think, it just flows. Well, the secret isn't about having a perfect script in their head. It's actually something way simpler. So let's get right into it. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll tackle a big myth about filler words. Then, we're going to build your fluency toolkit with some super useful examples. And we'll wrap up with the one golden rule you need to remember and a little challenge for you. All right, first things first, the myth and the truth. It's time to completely reframe how we think about these so-called filler words. So seriously, have you ever wondered this? It really does feel like they have some kind of magic trick to avoid getting stuck. But the truth is, they do get stuck. They just have tools to make it sound natural when it happens. Okay, this is the big one. The myth we're all taught is that filler words are just a bad habit that makes you sound sloppy or unprofessional. But the truth? They are actually tools. When you use them right, they don't make you sound unprofessional at all. They make you sound real, natural, and fluent. So, if they're tools, what's in the box? Let's open up this fluency toolkit and look at 5 of the most common ones you can start using, like today. First up, we have you know. Now, listen to that sentence. The person isn't actually asking if you know. What they're doing is creating a connection. Like they're saying, you've been there too, right? It invites the listener to share that feeling. So its number one job is to connect. You're basically turning a statement about yourself into a shared human experience. And that's why it is absolutely perfect for telling personal stories or talking about feelings in a casual chat. And here's a little tip to make it sound totally natural. Use a light, rising tone. You know? It shouldn't sound like a demand for an answer. It should feel like a little invitation for the other person to nod and agree. Ah, yes. Like. This is probably the most famous and maybe the most misunderstood filler word out there. Here, like isn't comparing anything. It's acting as a little pause and adding a bit of emphasis to that feeling of show. Think of its job as a verbal placeholder. It's like hitting a tiny pause button for your mouth, just to give your brain a millisecond to catch up. That's why it's a staple in storytelling and why it really belongs in very casual conversations. Now, the key with like is all about moderation. If you use it like 5 times in like one sentence, yeah, that gets distracting really fast. But using it once to keep your story flowing, that just sounds natural. Okay, next tool. I mean, see what's happening here? The speaker is correcting themselves to be more specific. They're clarifying that it wasn't just any anger, it was frustration. I mean, is the bridge that gets them to that more precise thought. So its main job is to clarify or correct. It's your way of saying, wait, let me say that better. And the great thing about this one is that it works everywhere, from a casual coffee chat to a professional meeting. It makes you sound thoughtful. And the delivery is everything. You want to use a calm, sort of reflective tone. It signals to everyone that you're actively thinking, not just totally lost for words. Let's move on to our next tool, actually. In this example, it's used to introduce a surprising fact. You'd assume someone who travels a lot has been to Paris, right? Actually is the word that signals that surprise is coming. Actually is such a great word for directing a conversation. You can use it to politely correct someone, to add a contrasting point, or, like we saw, to share an unexpected little truth. It's another fantastic tool for both work and play. Just a quick heads up on this one. Your tone of voice is absolutely crucial. If you say it with a friendly, neutral tone, it's polite. But if you say it with a sharp tone, it can sound a little aggressive. So always aim for friendly. And for our final tool, the classic well. See how the answer doesn't start with a simple yes or no? It starts with well. That one word immediately tells you a thoughtful, considered response is coming. This is your go-to word when you just need a second. It buys you time to think and it softens what you're about to say. This is incredibly useful when you have to disagree with someone politely or give feedback, especially at work. And here's a pro tip for using it. Don't rush. Say well, then take a tiny pause, a little breath before you continue. That little pause is what makes it sound so natural and so thoughtful. Okay, so you've got your new toolkit. Now for the most important part, the golden rule, and then a challenge to get you started. If you only remember one thing today, please let it be this. Filler words are like salt and pepper in cooking. A little bit adds flavor and makes the whole thing better. But if you dump the whole salt shaker in, you've ruined the meal. Moderation is everything.
So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. It's really simple. Don't try to use all 5 of these at once. Just pick one, maybe 2, that you feel comfortable with. And then just try to use them in a casual, low-pressure conversation this week.
Remember, the goal here isn't to be perfect. It's just to make your spoken English feel a little more relaxed, a little more natural, a little more you. So, which tool are you going to try out first? Give it a go. You'll be surprised how much more fluent you sound.